Welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. May you live your truth. Good morning, live from Los Angeles. We come together each morning to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with our unique truth. That's right, live your truth. We also come together as a community through Soulciete. The mission of Soulciete is to be the number one spiritual leaders community in the world. We come together online and offline. We come together through soul session calls. We come together through events. We come through all kinds of beautiful things in membership and online, offline. So if you haven't checked it out, you can check it out at soulciete.com, which is SOULCIETE, or drerin.tv. That's DRERIN.tv. Yes, we believe that when you awaken, you have a gift and message to bring to the world. We are awakening the world together. So let's do this thing. So today, let's talk about transformation. Shift happens. That's right. J.K. Rowling said, "We do not need magic to change the world. We carry all the power we need inside ourselves already. We have the power to imagine." Amen, sister. So I think that the most kind of traditional sense of transformation is the story of the caterpillar. And I remember doing a talk on it when I was in ministry and doing a little bit of research on it. And it's pretty profound when you think about it. So I'd like to share a little bit about the metamorphosis and the transformation of the caterpillar into the butterfly, because this is really the biggest significance and symbology of transformation. So did you know that the butterfly, it's like literally, it's first a larva egg. It hatches, and then it crawls eagerly, oscillating, into a caterpillar. And it literally gets excited to crawl just by, on land, on the tree, wherever it goes and eats and eats and eats leaves. And it literally packs itself full of food, and it locates itself specifically on a part of a branch, usually. And then can you imagine, imagine for a minute, okay? You don't even know, you're just doing this. It's just your habitual being. It's just like you do it, you don't know why. It's just like crawling, eating. It just eats so much till it can't, eat anymore. And it basically finds a spot and begins to create a cocoon. It's not like the thing goes to school and goes, okay, now this is what you're going to do when you grow up. You're going to go create a cocoon. Like, it just intuitively, instinctually, biologically, naturally creates a cocoon, or they call it a chrysalis. And it encases itself in this fine thread where its next metamorphosis takes place. So 10 to 14 days later, the caterpillar reabsorbs its skin and fur and slowly develops into a beautiful butterfly. So it goes in this huge cocoon, right? And we use the same cocoon as when you're doing your awakening. You all of a sudden, it's like nature happens. Shift happens, if you will. Stuff happens, breakdowns happen. You begin to basically surrender. It's this natural thing that happens in life. We literally, crazy things happen out there. We feel suffering. We get sad, and we go within, and as we call it, surrender. It's a natural thing. It's not like anyone has to teach you how to get sad. Like, it is, we say it's a learned behavior. I don't believe it's I think it's like something in the human makeup. It just happens. And so back to the caterpillar, or the butterfly, which you want to say, whenever it's ready, after it's gone to this cocoon, the butterfly swallows air to expand its body and breaks open this chrysalis and wraps its legs around the leaf. With its wings still moist from the protection environment of the chrysalis, the butterfly needs to wait until it's completely dry. Then, when it's ready, it spreads its glorious wings, leaves the known dimension of the plant, and takes flight into a new reality, flying and experiencing life and the world in a completely unique way. It's this beautiful cycle that ends where it begins, with the adult butterfly laying eggs ready for the new life to spring forth. And this is what I think is the most profound aspect of the butterfly's transformation or metamorphosis, is that it's born as a caterpillar with what is called imaginal cells and discs, which hold the dormant information of the butterfly's destiny. You hold destiny. You hold this thing called imagination. You hold the wisdom of the universe. You already are awake. You already are enlightened at some core aspect of you. The only thing for you to do is to decide to wake up, to turn on this aspect of you that's already there. And so in knowing this, I think this is so profound. Life happens, we get sad, we suffer, we keep looking out to the world, we keep looking and getting, beat up by the world. We're always let down. It's just part of our nature. And then we suffer and we suffer and suffer, and we have to go within, and then we surrender, and then something magical happens. Something happens. And whether you do this by suffering out there in the world or whether you go into meditation, and I believe that this transformation can happen multiple ways. But just as a hero's journey, just as, every story I've ever heard, usually when people have awakening, usually as people step into their power, there usually was some trial and triumph. And this is just the human nature and how it works. And it doesn't have to work that way. But for some reason, the story happens over and over and over again. So what a profound, amazing symbology for our own transformation. Awakening is not only an expansion of consciousness, it's an identity shift. That's the true thing. Literally, the caterpillar goes through a huge transformation shift, right? We just don't see our transformation, right? We just don't see the transformation. Spirituality is the reality that everything comes from spirit, your higher self. It is the idea of being the cause rather than the effect of life. It is the paradigm shift from defining yourself through observation of the material world to recognizing the absolute truth of your spiritual nature. This is the victory. This is the transformation. Transformation is it's like an X factor, a quantum leap in yourself. Did you know that you're so powerful? Thomas Troward talks about this. And this changed my entire perception of spirituality when I was doing my doctorate. And we had to read about so many great thinkers and writers and speakers and all the different philosophies. Thomas Troward, I think he was one of the most profound teachers that impacted me having one of those aha moments. He said that in the original power, he said, it's in the self-contemplation that you instantaneously inform universal law. It's how you consider yourself to be. If you're such a powerful spiritual being that the moment you even consider yourself to be any identity, you set into effect a whole stream of events through universal law. That's how powerful you are. That's how powerful you are. Change, transformation happens instantly. Shift happens instantly. So in just knowing this truth today, just going past everything, working with clients and going into their subconscious work, what happens is oftentimes, and majority of every human being I've worked with has trauma. Trauma does not mean that you had to be in a ward of trauma. Trauma is a relative thing, right? Trauma, my definition of trauma is having a high state of negative emotion that impacts the nervous system and impacts the consciousness. So basically what that means is that in the moment of high emotion, you literally decide things and you command into your subconscious, and this is a limiting belief. The opposite can happen, as we talk about, where you have a high state of ecstatic emotion and you state the truth. And in that, it shapes and programs our subconscious. But so the point is this, is that if you want to have that true transformation as the caterpillar into the butterfly, as the effect person reclaiming your power to be awake and powerful, you've got to release those limiting beliefs. You've got to neutralize those mental pictures around the trauma. You've got to do your internal subconscious work. And so in knowing this, I know everything's possible. that it's the same energy that bounds us, that brings in the limiting beliefs. It's the same power transformed into your highest self. And only you can do that. You have to decide to find the practitioner, the modality. There's many different things. Of course, people work with me. There's different cognitive therapists. There's just things like EMDR. There's different trauma modalities. I am trained in Greek oracle processes, which I believe are the most profound because you go into past lives, you go into all kinds of trauma. It takes some time, but people want instant gratification. But if you want true enlightenment, I believe you got to do it all. I believe it's more than a tapping session or more than just looking at something from this childhood. I believe you've got to look at trauma from all lifetimes and birth the true identity and birth your unique truth and birth your purpose and calling out of all that trauma that's happened over multiple lifetimes. And this is what I know for sure is that breakdowns are created from the depths of your soul for a breakthrough in your awakening. That this is the beauty and the perfection, the intelligence that knows exactly what you need at all points in time. There's a project called the Spontaneous Remission Project. It's a database created by Carly Hirschberg and Brendan O'Regan, and it's in 1993, and it basically took 3,500 references from 800 journals in 20 languages of people that had spontaneous remission. This is the truth, you guys, that it's all possible. Don't listen to what the world tells you. And yes, we have to say, go to your doctor and listen to what they tell you, but don't listen to the prognosis. Anything's possible. There's people that have had HIV positive and then later found out they're negative. There's people that have had stage 4 cancer and completely had to disappear. There's all kinds of possibility. You have this intelligence in you. You have this potential in you that is the butterfly that has you fly. That is called faith. And knowing and tapping into that truth, anything and everything's possible. So today, the daily universal law is a law of cause and effect. And this states for every effect, there is a cause. Spirit, your higher self. Your beliefs create your thoughts, which create your feelings and emotions, which create and cause the circumstances of your life. This is the triune nature of the creative process, the unfoldment of thought through law into form. This law responds in direct proportion to your beliefs. Your experience of life changes to the degree you change your core beliefs and thinking. So today, the daily practice and challenge, the challenge is to shift your thinking. Shift it. Decide. That's the challenge. The practice is to basically take your life and take a look at the traumatic incidences. This is the daily spiritual, every day. What is playing out and out picturing into your life? What is that? And begin to take note of all the traumatic incidences you've ever had. What did you decide in those traumatic incidences? What were the commands that you had? And begin to think about that. Take time. Do contemplative meditation. Yes, you probably need to find a practitioner if you have major PTSD or major trauma, but you can do a lot of this in mirror work, in spiritual work, in meditation, in contemplative meditation. Begin to really take a look and shift through this. What are those limiting beliefs that are affecting your life today? Take 10 minutes to contemplate how the hardest thing you've ever gone through may possibly be the biggest blessing in disguise. I know for me, having a stillborn at 22, I know for me, that was the hardest, most traumatizing, intense moment of my life after giving birth to his body and standing in that mortician's house, dark in that deep basement room. But what I know now is, looking back, that was the greatest blessing of my life, because I had a decision to wake up, a decision to figure out what my spiritual nature was, a decision right there. I never felt so alone in my entire life down in that dark room. My parents weren't there. My husband wasn't there. I was all alone as a little girl, really. 22 years old. But what I know is that there was something in me that knew. There was something in me that knew I was a butterfly. And you deserve that. You deserve to fly. You deserve to wake up, decide who you are, remember who you are, and fly. Fly, baby, fly. This is all we got. This isn't a dress rehearsal. Yes, we're immortal, eternal, but in this lifetime and in this form, this is all we got, this one life. So make it the best. Have the best day ever, and may you live your truth. Thanks again for tuning in to Dr. Erin and Soulciete podcast. I'd like to invite you to write a review on iTunes. Also, I have a free gift for you, a money meditation and worksheet, which you can find at soulciete.com. That's www.soulciete.com. Or 30 guided meditations at drerin.tv. That's www.drerin.tv. We also hold monthly Soulciete events that are all about transformation and building extraordinary community. You can also watch me live daily on goodmorninglalaland.com or Instagram at drerin.tv. Grab your free manifestation masterclass with the purchase of my international best-selling book, Awakening, a 40-day guide to unleashing your spiritual powers, life purpose, and manifesting your dreams at erinfallhaskell.com/awakening book.